posted. There you go. All right, welcome and thank you for joining us for School Choice in Delaware. The Parent Information Center of Delaware is launching a new series, and we're very grateful to those who are joining us today. We will also be recording this and sharing it through our social media channels in the future. So we do appreciate those of you who are joining us for our first Thursday Lunch and Learn session. We hope you'll make plans to join us every Thursday for a wide variety of topics and an opportunity to speak with PIC parent consultants. Today, we're going to talk about something that is unique to Delaware, our school choice law, and how to take advantage of the opportunity to attend a school that is outside of your resident district. If you've utilized Parent Information Center services in the past, we thank you for coming back to join us today. And if you're new to the Parent Information Center, we're going to take a minute to talk about just some of what we do for families here in Delaware. PIC is entering our 40th year, and our mission at the Parent Information Center is to improve health and educational outcomes for children and youth by empowering them, their families, and the professionals who serve them. We do this by providing opportunities like this one, as well as an online video library, fact sheets, information and learning sessions, and finally through one-on-one consultation with families throughout the state. Please don't hesitate to call PIC for support at any stage of your child's life. So let's get started and talk about school choice in Delaware. What is school choice? The Department of Education's website in Delaware says, Delaware School Choice Program allows families living in Delaware to apply and enroll their children in any Delaware public school district, charter school, or vocational technical school, regardless of their home address. So what exactly does this mean? Since 1996 in Delaware, parents have been given the opportunity to enroll their child in a school that does not correspond to the district in which they live. A family living in the Indian River School District could apply to send their child to Capital School District. A family living in Capital could apply to send their child to Red Clay or any other available school in the state. This includes charter schools and vocational technical schools. Schools are able to cap registration numbers, and in the case of more applications than available spots, a lottery is held by the school. The first step in applying for school choice is to make sure that your child is registered in their school of residence. You might hear a school of residence referred to as a homeschool or a feeder school. In this specific case, when you hear the phrase homeschool, we are not referring to children who receive their education at home, but rather to the school that the child would attend based on where their home is. If your child is currently receiving their education at home and not through a school district, or if your child has not yet started kindergarten, you must first contact the school district that matches your home residence and register your child as a student there. If you are not sure what school district serves your home residence, you can visit the Department of Education's website and use their school locator application, or call the Department of Education at 302-735-4000. You'll also notice that within the school choice application, when you enter your address, it will automatically populate your school of residence into the field. Once you've decided that school choice may be an option for your child, spend some time researching available programs. Keep in mind that you will be required to provide transportation to and from school. So if childcare or transportation is an important consideration for your family, or if you do not have someone who can provide for pickup and drop off at appropriate times, research your options. Many times the school, particularly in the case of a charter school, can help you find transportation resources, but understand that they are not required to provide transportation accommodations to students who choice into their program. Another important consideration, especially for middle and high school, should be sports or extracurricular programs. Not all schools offer the same sports or extracurricular activities. So if there's something that is important to your student, make sure to weigh that against other factors in your decision. It should also be noted that there are laws and rules applying to students who are participating in high school athletics and transfer to a new school. We'll talk about that more in a second. You also want to consider the culture of the school. Are you looking for a more rigorous and intensive academic environment? Or Are you looking for a school that has AP courses or an IB program? Does your student struggle in a traditional classroom? If so, you might want to consider a school that has taken a different approach to learning. If your child has needs that are addressed through an IEP or a 504, you also want to take this into account when you're looking at the culture in the school. All schools receiving federal funding must provide the services that are necessary to afford a student a free, appropriate public education. But the way that schools provide those services can look a little different. So if you have a specific concern about your child's needs, reach out to the school you're considering attending and speak to someone who works in student support or special services. Finally, if you have a child entering high school, have a serious conversation with your student about what high school pathway they plan to pursue, and look for schools that offer this. Not all schools provide all pathways. When you are ready to complete your school choice application, there are two ways to do this. One is to visit the website www.schoolchoicede.org. This is the preferred and easiest way to apply for school choice, and we will walk through the screens of that application. We'll talk about the paper application a little bit later on. When you click on schoolchoicede.org, this is the page where you will be taken. This is the home screen for applying online to school choice in Delaware. This page contains a lot of information about the school choice process and is also a place that you can research schools. When you're ready to submit an application, you will click on the blue rectangle in the middle of the page. Once you've opened the application, you will see a list of schools divided by district and information about their capacity for new students. When you find a district that you are interested in applying for your child to attend, click on the Apply button next to the district name. Once you are in the application itself, you will then be able to choose which individual school you are submitting an application for. And if you look at this screen, you will see that each school is listed separately and shows what their capacity is and whether or not a wait list would be likely. If you're looking for a vocational technical school or a charter school, you will need to scroll to the bottom of that previous page and you will see a screen like this. Please notice that Sussex Technical High School, as an example, is open to 9th, 10th, and 11th grade as possible lottery selection. This means that they anticipate having more applications than they have openings and will conduct a lottery for all applicants. These lotteries are random and you should not be discouraged by the lottery process. The lottery processes are non-discriminatory and they're done in a random way to make sure that every child who applies for choice to that school has an equal opportunity to attend. Another thing to note is that some schools will say near capacity, wait list likely. Again, do not be discouraged. If you're interested in that school, apply. Oftentimes, waitlisted students gain admission over the course of the summer as other admitted students change their plans. I've heard of students being admitted to charter schools, particularly very close to the start of school, and even within the first week, families receiving a call that a spot has opened up. So make sure that if you're really interested in a particular school, do not be discouraged by the possibility of a wait list. When a lottery is conducted, some students will be placed on the wait list from the lottery as well. Once you've chosen the school that you wish to submit an application for, you'll be directed to their specific application page. On this page, you'll see specific information about their application and their school or district. You want to pay close attention to these pages because they will often have rules or policies that you need to know in advance. They will also share the grades which are open for choice. You'll click the button once you've read all the information, click the button that says Apply Now. And I'll show you on this particular school site, Campus Community School, they specify that if you do not notify the school of a phone number change and they call you and realize that that is the incorrect phone number, you will be deemed to have withdrawn your application. Another thing that's very common within these applications, and I think applies to almost all of them, is that if your student is not promoted to the grade for which they applied, you have to submit a new application. If this happens after the lottery, the student will be placed at the end of the waiting list for the correct grade level. To be sure, if you are applying to a school, that you keep in contact with that school. The next page you will see will ask you to create an account or to log in. If you've not created an account for the 2023-2024 school year, you will have to create a new account. Even if you have created an account in a previous year, every year you'll have to create a new account for the new school year. When you create your account, you're not required to provide an email address, but it is helpful to have one on file. Follow the prompts to create your account, and the system will transfer you to the application. Be sure to write down your username and password in a safe location so that you can log in at another time to look at the status of your application. The next screen is going to ask you for information about your student. This is all pretty straightforward information. Make sure that the name listed on your application is the same as the child's birth certificate, that the date of birth is correct, and the race and ethnicity fields are optional. These are not determining factors when applying to a choice school. The next page, or at the bottom of that page, you will be displayed the resident school district based on the address that you initially entered. And then you'll be asked to choose the feeder school from a drop-down menu. This is the school that your child would attend if they are not admitted to their choice school. So for example, based on the address that was entered, this student would be attending the Woodbridge School District. Under feeder school, you would then select the elementary, middle, or high school within Woodbridge that your child would attend in 2023-2024 if the school choice application does not go through. The next page is going to ask for information about the student's parent or guardian. Again, this is straightforward information and does require at least one parent. It does not require you to enter two. Make sure that the phone number and the email address are correct. And if they do change over the course of your application, make sure to call the school and update it. On the next screen, you will be asked to provide information about your child's siblings. This does not mean that you are requesting school choice for all siblings. It's very important to note that every child has to submit a completely separate application. They use this information to look at siblings who are both applying in separate applications for something called sibling preference, and also just for informational purposes about your student and their family. On the next screen, you will select the specific school you're applying for your child to attend and indicate if this is for a child care need. An example of a child care need would be if you live in Bridgeville, but work in Dover, and therefore you need your child to be in a child care center closer to your work. It is important to be honest about this request because it may come into play if your student is admitted. On the next screen, you will see questions that are customized to each school. Again, it's very important to be honest in all of your answers. Most schools will also have additional questions that are short answer. These are purely to get to know you and your child, so don't be intimidated or afraid of answering these questions. At the bottom, you'll be asked to check for your understanding of the school or district's policies and procedures related to the school choice application. Be sure that you have read and understand these, and note that on all of these school choice applications, providing incorrect or false information will be cause for the district to terminate school choice for your child. If changes occur, reach out to the school and let them know what is happening. And I can tell you that we have seen situations where school choice was terminated because of incorrect information even after the start of school. So it is very important that you're honest on this application and let the school know the exact situation if something changes. On the final screen, you'll be able to review your answers and make corrections. And then at the bottom, you will have to certify that the application contains complete and correct knowledge to the information to the best of your knowledge. Once you have done this and you click submit, your choice application is complete for this student and this student only. If you have additional students, you must submit a separate application for each student. If you're not comfortable with the online application, you can download a paper application in English or Spanish. This application must be completed in full and returned to the Department of Education in Dover no later than January 11th. This application does not go to the school, it goes to the Department of Education in Dover. The paper application download is available at schoolchoicede.org and also by visiting the Department of Education's website. The deadline for school choice applications is January 11th, 2023. Each year, the application is due around the beginning of January, but dates do sometimes change. Make sure that you have submitted all applications either by paper or online no later than January 11th. They're very strict about this deadline. In some instances, schools that have openings beyond the deadline may continue to accept applications up until their capacity is reached on a first come, first served basis. But do not count on this because not all schools have that capacity. And any school with a lottery or a waiting list will certainly not accept applications past that deadline unless there is a special circumstance. So for example, if something in your situation changes after the deadline, you suddenly move or your childcare needs change, you can contact the school district directly, let them know your situation and ask if they can make an exception to allow you to choice in. But this will only be for good cause changes. Sometimes, but not always, this will happen for factors like home residence, childcare, those kinds of things. But definitely make sure that if possible, you have all of your decisions made and your choice applications in by January 11th. The one circumstance when a child has the right to attend a district other than the district where they currently reside and without submitting a formal school choice application is when a child experiences homelessness. At this point, if your child is experiencing homelessness, you would qualify for the McKinney-Vento Homeless Assistance Act, which ensures rights and protections for homeless children and youth. There are many situations that qualify a child as homeless. So if you believe that your child may qualify for protections or you're not sure, you can reach out to the McKinney-Vento coordinator in your school district or contact us here at the Parent Information Center to discuss whether or not you might qualify. If a child is deemed to qualify under McKinney-Vento, the Department of Education must take steps necessary to ensure consistency for the student, which can include helping the student to stay in a district where they've been attending, even after seeking housing elsewhere. There will still be a form of application, but it will be processed under McKinney-Vento. And so the situation is a little different if you are experiencing homelessness, so make sure you reach out to the school district or to Parent Information Center for assistance. So how does a family, once the deadline is passed, how does a family know if they have received their choice application and it's been accepted? Once the deadline is passed, schools will use different processes. As we talked about, some schools use a lottery, some may have a wait list, and then it's first come, first serve. But regardless of the process used, all schools participating in school choice must comply with all state and federal laws. A district may not discriminate against a child for any reason. And you will be notified of your status no later than the last day of February, whether you've been accepted, you've not been accepted, or if you've been placed on a wait list. Once a family has accepted school choice, that student remains enrolled in the choice school until graduation from the school building. So for example, if the school is a K-5 school, when the student graduates the 5th grade, they would have to submit a new application. The same at the end of middle school applies. And if there's a special program, the span of the program is the deadline, is the end of the school choice, unless a new application is submitted. A school choice application can also end at the parent's request. If you decide that that school is no longer meeting your child's needs, you can terminate school choice, but you will return back to the school that is your feeder or home school. Also, please note that there are rules governing student athletes in school choice. So if you are a student athlete, or if your student likes to participate in sports and is in a competitive sport environment, wants to compete in sports in high school, contact the Delaware Interscholastic Athletic Association or reach out to us here. We can assist you as well and look into what policies might affect your child's participation. If your student is graduating from a building, or if the span of the program has ended, again, you must submit a new choice application at that time. You do not need to submit a choice application at the end of each year in the same building, as long as nothing has changed. And if you ever have any questions about your school choice eligibility or your school choice application, be sure to contact the school or the district. They're there to try and help you navigate the process. At this time, if anybody has any questions, I'm happy to try and answer them, whether they're school choice or something else. And we have a couple of our other parent consultants here as well. Okay, if there aren't any questions, this is information about how you can contact us at the Parent Center of Delaware. You can visit our website, scan that little QR code, and it'll take you there. You can call us or make an appointment to come see us at one of our offices located throughout the state. We do have an office in Wilmington, one in Dover, one in Georgetown, and one in Seaford. So don't hesitate to reach out. We're here to help.
Hi, I want to ask one thing.
Sure.
About Pick of Delaware. If I want information and want to enroll, like my daughter's not currently 5, she will be turning 5 next year, and I will be enrolling her in kindergarten. So, and my son is having autism, but he is 5. I don't know if I need to choose school for him right now or his IEP will decide. So I want to ask that if I want to enroll my daughter in Pick of Delaware, what, can I do that? Because I tried to do for my son and they told that if I'm enrolled in Autism Delaware for him, then I should contact them for that.
Sure. So you can reach out to PIC. If you want to send me a message on here with your information, we can have someone call you. Carrie Thompson is on the line. She is our PTI coordinator, and she works with families that need one-to-one assistance. We can help you with both your son and your daughter and figure out what your needs are and how we can help you.
Sure. I tried to do for my son, but they already told that if I'm with Autism Delaware, then I should be with them. And if they don't help me, then I contact PIC for my son. But they're really helping me, but I want to have one-on-one assistance for my daughter. She's normal, but still I want to know more things because I'm new to these school things. So yeah, I really wanted to know what information do you need me to put on the chat?
So whichever way you'd like us to reach out, Carrie can either call or email you, whatever's preferred. You can send that to a direct message with me in chat, or I'll go back one screen. And our general email address at that picofdel@picofdel.org. Or you can give us a call. You know, when we get done here, you can pick up the phone and give us a call and we can have somebody talk to you right now.
Sure. Thank you so much.
Sure. I'll leave that up for a minute. Make sure you've got it.
Yes, thank you. I will leave the information.
Okay. So Mary, it's not letting me see the chat, but I'm going to stop sharing and we can end the recording.